White says she wanted to get back to herself and become a better mom and a better friend and be more spiritual, more business savvy, and really show the real person that she is and not this persona that she was putting on. White also says she's been working out more and reading the Bible. And Lizzo is expanding her Yiddy shapewear to be inclusive. She described the new collection as gender-affirming shapewear. In a post online, Lizzo wrote binder tops and tucking thongs coming this summer. She posted pictures of models wearing the collection and said she believes in self-love for people of all gender identities. With the latest in entertainment, I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network. I'm Tariq Lowe with Maybe You Didn't Know. George Washington was the country's first president, one of the founding fathers of America, and led his troops to victory in the battle for independence. Maybe you didn't know that Washington was also a slave owner who kept slaves even when it was against the law. Although Washington became president in 1789, he continued to own slaves. During his term, Washington lived between New York, Virginia, and Philadelphia, PA. In 1780, a Pennsylvania law partially did away with slavery. Instead of adhering to it, Washington argued that the law didn't apply to him because he really was a resident of Virginia. He was only living in Philadelphia because of the presidency. To avoid the law, Washington's wife, Martha, would travel back to Virginia every 6 months with their slaves. Even though doing so was illegal, no one enforced the law. When he passed away, he still owned 300 slaves. I'm Tariq Lowe on the BIN. The only news that hears you. The Black Information Network. I'm John Marshall.
And I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Toxic chemicals known as PFAs have been found in hundreds of consumer products and clothing bought off the racks nationwide. Thousands of those chemicals have existed since the first ones were invented in the 1940s to prevent stains and sticking. PFAs have been found in a wide variety of garments such as rain jackets, hiking pants, shirts, yoga pants, and sports bras made by popular brands like Alameda. Now, stricter state-level bans targeting apparel are rolling out, like in Maine, requiring companies to report PFAs and their products to state officials.
A Domino's receipt led to the arrest of a 12-year-old boy in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who was accused of shooting and killing his adult neighbor, Brandon Felton, in the head for his gun. The Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office is charging the minor with first-degree intentional homicide. According to the complaint, the minor and friends were trying to buy guns from Felton, and when he refused, the boy shot him. A phone number on a receipt from Domino's Pizza at Felton's house led police to a phone that was owned by the boy, and with a search warrant for the boy's phone, detectives discovered incriminating text messages. The boy was arrested with a $100,000 bond.
The FTC is alerting people about artificial intelligence being used to simulate someone's voice in imposter scams, which was the most commonly reported fraud in 2022. John Bridges, a target of one of those scams, was convinced his daughter was in trouble, needing help and money.
When I first heard my daughter's voice, it was my daughter's voice. It convinced me that that was her.
Losses due to AI scams jumped to $2.6 billion just last year. Experts say always be skeptical when asked for money in any form. Don't rely on caller ID and always hang up, then call the person back yourself.
And a black TikToker named Naja Cheyenne posted a 5-minute clip of a white woman refusing her entry onto an elevator in the building where she lives. The woman was standing in the elevator's entryway, stopping its doors from closing and restraining her leashed dog. Social media users online are calling this another incident of a Karen acting out of racism. Cheyenne called the police that same evening, and they arrived about 10 minutes later. After also speaking with her building's leasing office, the young woman learned this isn't her neighbor's first time causing a disturbance.
And a black brother-sister duo, Ernest and J.C. Holmes, are looking to improve representation in the video gaming industry. Ernest says he is here to make some change.
On top of Codehouse, I work at Google as a technical program manager. And I never forget my first day there. When I look around, there weren't many other people that looked like me, that looked like us. And I just knew that I wanted to be a part of the change to make something amazing happen.
The duo are co-founders of Codehouse, a nonprofit introducing more young black students to the world of computer science and coding. Codehouse has an annual event that invites thousands of Atlanta high school students to meet with developers from tech companies such as Google and Netflix, allowing the young developers to get first-hand experience on how their apps and products are made. For more international, national, state, and local news impacting the Black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. I'm John Marshall, along with Bree Wood, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Where Black news comes first.
Listen and stay informed. The Bay Area's BIN 910. Your money on the Black Information Network.
Time is running out to file your federal taxes this year, and a lot of you are thinking about how to spend that big refund or how much money you have to pay. But here's something else you need to think about: tax scams. And a lot of these scammers are crafty. Here are a few to look out for. Number one, we recalculated your tax refund and we need you to click on a link and provide more info, like your social security number, date of birth, driver's license number, your maiden name, your dog's name. Okay, not your dog's name, but you get the idea. Guess what? That form is fake, and it's a phishing scam to get your personal information. Number two, an email with a link that will supposedly direct you to details about your refund. Well, guess what? The IRS does not send emails about your refund status. Instead, you can check the status of your refund at irs.gov. And number three, a voicemail or email message saying you owe the federal student tax. Guess what? There is no federal student tax. Money news at 24 and 54 minutes past each hour. I'm Nicole Veal on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
The source for Black news.
The Black Information Network. The Bay Area's BIN 910.
I'm Bree Wood.
And I'm John Marshall, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
A transgender activist group is planning a protest in Washington, D.C. this weekend, just days after a transgender person opened fire at a Nashville, Tennessee school, killing 6 people, including 3 children. Using the hashtag Trans Day of Vengeance, the Trans Radical Activist Network tried promoting the event on Twitter. The social media platform removed more than 5,000 tweets that shared a poster about the protest, fearing it would incite violence. In a press release on their website, the group acknowledged the mass shooting and the victims, but denied there is any connection between the shooting and their protest, saying it's about unity.
The Mississippi Senate has voted to reject the nomination of African-American Dr. Robert Taylor as the next state school superintendent. The Black Information Network's Terry McCready has the story.
By a vote of 31 to 21 along party lines, the Republican-controlled Senate decided not to confirm the nomination of Taylor, with some citing issues with the Board of Education's hiring process as the reason. Members of the Mississippi Legislative Black Caucus expressing outrage, saying the only reason Taylor was not confirmed is because he's black. I'm Terry McCready on the Black Information Network.
Former President Barack Obama recently traveled to Melbourne, Australia on his speaking tour in the country. A welcome ceremony was planned, and an Indigenous elder, Auntie Joy Murphy-Wanden, was asked to perform at the business luncheon, but was removed after she was told she was being difficult. The 78-year-old requested a support person to assist her and to provide Mr. Obama with a gum leaf as a gift, something that is a tradition in her culture. The National Indigenous Times reports that Auntie Joy was both shocked and distressed by the incident. She also said the organizers did call her to apologize, and she accepted their re-invitation for her to perform.
And Kansas City, Missouri is one of the most musical cities in the United States, and one organization is offering the chance of a lifetime for black artists and musicians to join their not-for-profit Creative City KC, Inc. The organization is the only U.S. member of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. African-American founder and executive director of Creative City KC, Inc., Anita Dixon Brown, says they are opening the opportunity for artists to expand their reach, travel, record, and perform across the world. To begin the process of becoming a partner, email creativecitykc@gmail.com to express interest. I'm Bree Wood, along with John Marshall, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com. Now here's Mike Moore with your Healthy Minutes.
Headaches. Many of us get them from time to time. But did you know what they're linked to? First, let's describe them. 2 types of severe headaches are being linked to the body's internal clock. Cluster headaches cause an intense burst of pain around the eye that can last for about 15 minutes and reoccur for up to 3 hours. A new study published recently says cluster headaches are more common in males than females. Unlike migraines, which are more common in females, and that cluster headaches are usually happening at night, while migraines usually come during the day. Dr. Mark Boris is the study's lead author and the director of the Will Irwin Headache Research Center at UT Health Houston, Texas. He said the body's circadian rhythm appears to be involved in both headache disorders. Researchers found that 52% of the world's population is impacted in either of the headache disorders. And that's your Healthy Minute. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
You work hard and do a great job for your employer, so it's entirely acceptable to ask for a raise if it's been more than a year since your last increase. To increase your chances of getting the dollars you deserve, try these few things to place the odds in your favor. The best way to ask for a raise is to do your research and know your worth. Then approach your boss in a professional manner. Be prepared to articulate reasons why you deserve a raise. Your rent going up will not motivate your boss as much as pointing out all that you've accomplished. Do your math and figure out how much you should ask for. The average pay raise is 3%. A good pay raise ranges from 4.5% to 6%. Be confident when you meet with your supervisor, and don't forget to put your request in writing. Using these tips may help you bring home the bag. I'm Terrence Bibb on the Black Information Network.
9:10 a.m. KKSF, Oakland, the Black Information Network.
Tell your smart device to play Bay Area's BIN 910 on iHeartRadio.
I'm Nicole Deal.
And I'm Mike Stevens on the Black Information Network.
We began with new reports of former President Donald Trump being indicted and a black prosecutor in New York, Alvin Bragg, leading the charge. The New York Times is reporting that a grand jury recently voted to indict Trump. Multiple sources say the panel indicted him for his role in paying hush money to an adult film actress. The indictment is reportedly under seal by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office and will likely be announced in the coming days. At that time, Trump will be expected to surrender and enter a plea. This will be the first time ever a former president has faced criminal charges. And another case Trump could be indicted for is also being investigated by a black prosecutor in Georgia. Charges that he attempted to reverse election results in that state. Donald Trump's reaction coming up later in the hour.
The Black House Democratic leader says there's a gun violence epidemic in America.
Children being slaughtered in schools, becoming a way of life in the United States of America. That can't be.
Following the recent deadly school shooting in Nashville, African-American House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries spoke in Washington, calling on Republicans to bring universal criminal background check legislation to the floor. Jeffries says it's time for Congress to put kids over guns. He says lawmakers should debate the gun safety issue in front of the American people.
Speaking of putting kids over guns, parents and students are demanding stricter gun laws at Tennessee's state capitol. After the latest mass shooting at Nashville's Covenant School this week, hundreds of parents, black and white, are joining community groups urging legislators to act and stop future incidents from happening. Their goal is to protest before Tennessee's House for common sense gun laws.
There is yet another attempt to strike down portions of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare. This time, a federal judge in Texas says insurers no longer need to provide certain preventative care services for free. U.S. District Judge Reed O'Connor decided those Obamacare mandates cannot be enforced nationwide. That includes some cancer and heart screenings that many African Americans are benefiting from. Further court action is expected.
You have probably heard the saying, age is nothing but a number. But now there is proof. A young, beautiful example of black excellence. 21-year-old Alicia Thompson has autism, but that is certainly not keeping her from reaching her goals. The Georgia native was recently featured in BlackNews.com after opening Aaliyah's Beauty Bar in Stockbridge, Georgia. And get this, 8 months after she opened that beauty bar salon, the young black entrepreneur went on to open a nail school. You go, girl. I'm Nicole Deal with Mike Stevens on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
I'm Tariq Tariq Lowe with Maybe You Didn't Know. The township of Allensworth, California, near Bakersfield, was created in 1908. The location boasted fertile soil, an ample supply of water, and was along a railroad corridor. By 1912, many successful small businesses existed, and there was a school district. The Oakland Sunshine reported that the township generated $5,000 a month. The community was thriving. Maybe you didn't know that Allensworth, California, was an all-black township, the first of its kind. It was founded by Colonel Allen Allensworth and a group of other black men attempting to create a refuge away from oppression and wishing to become self-reliant. Allensworth numbered around 300 residents at its peak. The problems with salt creeping into the water table led to drinkable water problems. The township's population dwindled away until it was just a memory. Allensworth is now memorialized as Colonel Allensworth State Historic Park, featuring a number of restored early 20th century buildings, including the Colonel's House. A yearly rededication ceremony is held to commemorate the original vision of the Allensworth pioneers. I'm Tariq Lowe on the BIN.
Black news all day, every day.
The power of information. Bay Area's BIN 910. I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News. San Francisco's BIN 910. Veteran black Congresswoman Barbara Lee just received a huge nod from a major political influencer. NBC Bay Area reports Silicon Valley Congressman Ro Khanna has officially endorsed Lee in her bid for the U.S. Senate. Here's Congresswoman Lee as she addressed supporters in Oakland during her campaign kickoff speech not long ago.
Only 2 black women have served in the United States Senate since 1789. So if someone tries to tell me that a black woman of my age, with all the experience I bring to the table, can't win a fight, I just smile to myself and I say, watch me.
In his official statement, Khanna wrote, quote, I'm excited and proud to endorse my good friend Barbara Lee for U.S. Senate. Barbara is a progressive leader Californians need right now, and her solid record as one of Congress's most outspoken champions of justice speaks for itself. Rumors swirled around political circles in the Bay Area that Khanna may run for the seat. With all the talk surrounding San Francisco's proposal to put $5 billion in reparations to black residents, the California State Reparations Task Force met up for a few days in Sacramento to finalize its recommendations to the state. The task force, however, will not submit suggestions on how much black California residents will get paid. Chairwoman Camilla Moore said that responsibility lies with state lawmakers. I spoke to Moore exclusively about it.
We were required to advise the state legislature on the methodology around compensation, which means identifying who should be eligible. We pretty much make the argument that there's state culpability, thus there needs to be compensation from the state, in total valued at over $800 billion.
Moore said the advisory board also approved draft sections related to non-compensatory policy recommendations. The task force will meet again in May with the final meeting set for June 30th, one day before the deadline of July 1st. Another milestone as California bounces back from its driest 3 years ever. A new map update shows that more than half of the state is no longer in a drought thanks to heavy rain and historic snowfall. The number is now 45% considered abnormally dry. 7 days ago, it was just 51%. The change means the drought is officially over for the entire San Francisco Bay Area. A black woman who went through some pretty tough times is giving back to a woman's shelter and sharing her story of pain and triumph to help others in similar circumstances. NBC Bay Area reports Lisa Mae Riley was a victim of domestic abuse, and after abusing drugs and alcohol to numb her pain, she eventually found herself homeless. After pulling herself out of poverty, she is now a peer counselor at Carmelita Women's Home.
My mission in life is to now help other people that have gone where I've gone and been where I've been, and know that it's okay, that there is a different way.
She says she feels honored to do this kind of work and does not regret one single part of her life's journey. For more on these stories and international, national, state, and local news that affects the black community, listen to the Black Information Network on the iHeartRadio app or log on to BINnews.com. On social media, follow the BIN on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Black Information Network, and on Twitter at BlackInfoNet. I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco's BIN 910.
For over 50 years, SEO has been an innovator in youth education, mentorship, and positive peer pressure. Tap into and support the potential of newfound greatness at SEO-USA.org.
Sometimes when somebody is placed into guardianship, it's a parent or family member who becomes the guardian, but other times it's a company that actually is contracted to take over that care. Is that right?
Well, it could be a company or any
court-appointed fiduciary who's then paid out of the protected person's estate. So I would categorize it as more a family member or a professional guardian.
And how does that happen